Yeah, so my name is Miia Sõrra. I moved to Vancouver last year. My end goal, I moved here before I got a job, but my end goal was to be a firefighter out in BC. I just wanted to be around the mountains. I wanted to be around the ocean, and overall, I have really liked BC. I like the vibe of it, and so moved out here, started applying for jobs, and then I just started with a fire department out here. Like 5 months ago. So I'm still pretty green, still fresh. Honestly, I think that like growing up, I had all of these like amazing, strong people in my life. So many athletes and so many just very inspiring people that I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be athletic. I wanted to be active. I wanted to live my life that way. And I kind of fell into wanting to be a firefighter also for the aspect of wanting to help people. I find that really rewarding. And so the job itself is kind of, you get to help people, you get to be active, you get to kind of be on your feet, going around. I couldn't see myself doing a desk job, but yeah, mainly definitely wanting to like do my best to help the community that I'm living in, because I think that that's really important. So my schedule is insane. It is a 24-hour shift. So you work 24 hours on, 24 hours off, 24 hours on, and then 5 days off. But in terms of a typical day, it's like you get there, so dress like full uniform. I got my little like blue collared shirt. You show up, and because I'm a junior person, I have like the responsibilities of making sure that the truck's in order. So I go around, I change the batteries on all the radios, make sure that we've got all the equipment needed for the day. Typically, we'll also add training into our day. So practicing pulling hose, practicing going up ladders, setting them up, all that kind of stuff. Just to make sure that our skills are always in order, because fires don't come very often, and so when they do, you want to make sure that you're prepared for them. And then you kind of just spend your day going on calls when you receive them. Sometimes we get a few calls, sometimes we get a lot of calls. Yesterday was super busy. We had like 10 calls during the day, and you just go, you do your best to help the person when they're in need, and then if they need transport to the hospital or more care, then you wait for the paramedics to arrive, and then they take over and we'll take them to the hospital. So sometimes you'll be at a person's house for up to 2-3 hours, just kind of making sure that they're stable, kind of chatting with them, trying to figure out what's going on in terms of medical calls. And then there's also potential like car accidents, fires, all that kind of stuff. So it's hard to describe a structure of a day because there is none. If the city needs you, then you go. You kind of have to think about whether you want this job, because you are seeing things that people kind of don't see every day, and so you really have to commit to like, I'm ready, I can do this. And then once you do that, you have to go to school first for it. So there's so many programs. I went to one in Ontario at the airport, and so basically, my program was 4 months. There's a 2-month one. There's a 2-year one. There's a huge variety, and you basically go and you learn the basics of firefighting. And so that would be pulling hose. That would be setting up ladders. That would be going through tunnels, climbing stairs, practice being on like your regulator. So it's 4 months of just chaos and training to get your certifications. So you get 2 or 3 certifications from that. You have to get your EMR so that you're able to go to medical calls. You have to get your truck driving license, so get all that done, and then you start the application process. So after you've done all your certifications, then each department has their own specific certificate or hiring process. And so the department that I'm with, it is a panel interview. So you go in, you have an interview with 3 like chiefs or HR representatives and that kind of stuff. Then you have to do a criminal record check. They do a fitness test, strength test, all that kind of stuff. So you go on to their training days. So during the training days, it's just basically like intense skills and drills to make sure that you're fit for the job there. Fitness test. So probably one of the hardest tests I've ever done in my life. It was like a 30-minute fitness test of climbing up stairs, holding hose, blindfolded mazes, and they're all timed, and you have to have your heart rate down at a certain levels. And so after you pass, then you have to go on ride-alongs. So you go 3 ride-alongs, and basically you get to work a shift with the crews. So you're there, we're only there for 8 hours, not the full 24. But yeah, so it's like 8 hours of, they'll put you through training skills, you'll pull hose, you'll do the maze again, but you also get to go on calls, and that's when you actually get to go into people's houses and help them if they need. And because we're not hired yet, we aren't necessarily able to do much, but we observe and we help where we can. So that's 3 ride-alongs, and then after that it's a chief's interview, and then you have to pass this like physical test, medical test to make sure that you're fit for duty, and then hopefully you're hired. And so I applied in November of 2023 and I started working in October of 2024. So it was almost a year process just to apply. And then the next part is like, once you're hired, then you do 2 months of more training. And so that was, the fitness test was the hardest thing I've ever done. And then this was even harder. It was like just skills and training, and it was so difficult, but so worth it, because now like I think I have the best job in the world. It might not be for some people, but for me, those 2 months of training is so worth it now that I'm on the trucks. I'm really lucky that I finished my school in October of 2022 and I was hired on October of 2024, but that still was 2 years of not having a firefighting job after I've done all my schooling. And so sometimes it takes 5 years, sometimes it takes 10, you never really know. So being patient and just continuously applying, and don't lose hope, because the right job will come when the time is right. The other piece that I would say is don't hesitate to ask questions. Like, I'm available within the Estonian community that like I will answer any questions for anyone that is interested in pursuing it, but also firefighters themselves will, like, hopefully they all love their career. And so if you do know a firefighter, like, ask them. What I've noticed within like being on the trucks for the set amount of time that I have is that like growing up around mainly the men in my life, like my dad, my uncle, like their friends, specifically their Esto friends, are like, I relate so much to everyone I work with because of the people that I've grown up with. Like, grew up hunting, grew up fishing, grew up doing all these things. And so like them kind of living an active life caused me to live an active life. And now that I'm on the department, I can relate. Like, we're talking about hunting at the table yesterday and all that kind of stuff. So although that growing up with these people didn't necessarily influence my career choices, they have helped me become a better version of myself. I just feel like it's such a part of who I am, and I wouldn't be this way if I didn't grow up around these people.